ESPN's top baseball analyst Tim Kurkjian came to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College last Friday to speak to students, faculty, and staff. And the Raptor Report was there to cover the event. Kurkjian has been the top baseball commentator at ESPN for over 20 years, and he came to the college to talk about his new book, I'm Fascinated by Sacrifice Flies.
Before we get started, just a word about this book. This is just like the last book I wrote 8 years ago, only all the stories are different. The last book was called, Is This a Great Game or What? And it was just like this one, it's a Valentine for baseball fans.
He also talked about why he believes baseball is the best game.
For just all the strange coincidences that come up in baseball, it's the best game because of all the people that I meet along the way. This game is really hard to play. That's why it's the best game. And in order to play such a difficult game, you have to be unbelievably great. And I could tell you hours of stories about the great players that I've covered, from Cal Ripken to Greg Maddux on down.
He also took audience questions about speeding up the pace of play.
Well, this is a really tricky question. Average time of game is up 5 minutes last year to 3 hours and 3 minutes, okay? There's a little bit too much dead time in the game, I'll give you that. We are at a time in baseball with the greatest collection of young players I've ever seen. And suddenly the game is galactically boring for everyone. The games take way too long. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it.
And if there was any one player in history he'd drop everything to watch.
I would say there were about 20 answers to that. I'm going to give you one. Pedro Martinez, 1999-2000, in the height of the steroid era, in a DH league, pitching in the American League East, in that tiny little ballpark. Go back and look at those numbers again. It's terrifying how great that guy was for those 2 years. He is, for at least a 2-year period and probably a 5-year period, the greatest pitcher I've ever seen.
And the last question of the event was the Dream World Series he'd love to see.
The 27 Yankees, the greatest team of all time, against the 75 Reds, the greatest team in National League history. Now, those are my words. That's not the truth. But I would love to see those two teams play.
For the Raptor Report, I'm Michael Brown.